you know, what fits you best. That's actually the main thing. Out here today at SIUE cross-country course and mountain bike trails to do the 1,000-mile review of the giant Trance X E Plus Pro 29er, 20 mile per hour. Just cleared 1,000 miles, actually back in December, but we've had a lot of mud. Haven't been able to ride very much to get out and do the review, but we got some nice days here in February. I'll get right into the bad because that's going to be short. Basically, I mentioned in the 500 mile about the water bottle being kind of tight spot, and that's still the case. I have not found a side mount or otherwise bottle mount that I like that will accommodate a bigger bottle. So that's still kind of just a little thing. On the upside though, I've been getting along just fine with the smaller bottle, and with the e-bike, shooting back to the car mid-lap at most of the places I ride is not a big deal. So you can go back and refill it and get by with the small bottle. And obviously on bigger rides, I take a Camelback anyway, so that doesn't really matter. All the specs are on the Giant website, and they're still pretty accurate last time I looked. I haven't changed anything since the 500 review. I still got the same ergon grips that I switched out. They're the fat, and still got my SPD pedals on. I still got my bell. I'm kind of surprised I'm still running all the same drivetrain components and the same tires that it came with. I thought these would be worn out by now, but there's still plenty of knob left on them. And I have had one puncture that was big enough to warrant putting a plug in with the tubeless setup, and that was fine. I plugged it, it sealed right back up, and it's been fine since. That's probably a couple hundred miles ago, so far all the components on this have been very solid. I don't think it's really anything fancy, but everything's still working great. Before the 500 mile, I did tension up the shifter cable a little bit, but that's normal on any new bike that I've ever had. Or anytime you change cables, you eventually end up having to tighten that up a little bit after you ride it in. I mean, just keeping air in the shocks, and they're holding air. I'm not sure what the service intervals in that are for that, but I'm probably coming up on a point where I should probably have something serviced, but I've been keeping the drivetrain clean. Same chain. I did not expect to get 1,000 miles out of this chain. The cassette teeth don't look like they're starting to shark fin. The front ring doesn't look like, you know, anything's wearing weird. All the bearings have stayed tight. No issues with software or motor issues or battery charging issues. It's just been a solid performer. Biggest thing people usually ask is the battery life, and so far the battery's been great. This comes with the 625 battery. Giant / Yamaha offer a 500 and I believe an 800, and then a 250 range extender. And so far the pack this came with has been fine. The closest I've come to running it out was actually on a charity ride, and it was a mix of pavement like paved greenway, some hard pack greenway, like crushed limestone stuff, and a lot of gravel that was really hilly. And what really seemed to chew the battery the most was just those long stretches on flat blacktop or on the crushed limestone stuff that were flat, because you're just hitting the battery non-stop. There's no coasting, there's no rest for it. It just seems to suck the power out of it the whole time.
This is a good clearing to just take a quick look at the bike up close.
So, different grips. Fox fork, again, standard one that comes with it. Same tires. I don't know if you can see the tread, but they're pretty good shape yet. Not really something I'd replace. And then just the handlebar setup. Again, all factory. Seat with the dropper. Dropper still works fine. It's my saddlebag. I just carry multi-tool, the usual stuff in there. I do carry a tube and a CO2 inflator just in case things get really ugly. Continuing on with the back of the bike, the rear derailleur. Again, this is all from the factory, so rear derailleur, cassette, still in good shape. Chain's still good. Brakes are still good. I thought about changing the pads out. I think I mentioned it in the 500 mile video. Still the same pads. I was going to change them, took them out, and they had plenty of pad on them, and they still do. So I'm surprised by that. Nothing special about the crankset, or, I mean, it's what it is. I did get some little valve caps that have the valve tool built into it, so that's kind of fun. So far this bike has been obviously in Illinois. Well, that's where I'm at right now. It's been to Iowa several times. It's been in Missouri a lot. That's where most of our area trails are in this region. And it's been down to Arkansas. And it's been on everything from downhill, jumpy flow stuff down in Arkansas, like at the castle in Bentonville at Slaughter Pen, and all kinds of stuff at Kohler, really all over Bentonville. Up in Iowa, they've got some really nice trails up there, like the Proving Grounds and the Interstate Power Preserve. That is a really nice trail up by Dubuque. And then Sugar Bottom near Coralville, Iowa. That's really nice. And I got to do the Mount Trashmore in Cedar Rapids on this thing, and it's handled everything great. Like I said, it's a lot of bike for tight trails like this, but peel off the connector up here and hit Trail 4, and just some general thoughts about e-mountain bikes, because truth be told, most of what I'm experiencing would apply to any decent quality mountain bike, whether it's a Giant or a Specialized or a Canyon or a Marin or Fazari, whatever. They're all using either the Yamaha, Bosch, Shimano. I think there's some other ones coming out, but it seems like they've got them pretty well figured out to where no matter what you buy, it's going to be decent. Just more a preference of what you like the look of, I guess, or what components, but they all seem to come with about the same components depending on which version of the bike you want to get. So really the main thing is the frame and what kind of geometry you want to get, what kind of riding you're going to be doing in your area. Just like any other bike, you know, how does it fit you? And value for money, which that's one of the reasons I've had several Giant bikes in the past is that it seems like whenever I'm shopping for a bike, it's like, man, it's like you can't hardly beat the components they ship with for the money. And Giant comes with lifetime on the frame, which normally I wouldn't care about, but I was one of the people in this area that bought a frame from a company that a guy in the area had started, and they were supposed to have lifetime warranty, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, within 2 years, everybody's frames were cracked, and the company was gone, so much for your lifetime warranty. I don't see that really happening with Giant, and I haven't seen or talked to anybody that knows about Giants like on the shop level that says they've had a lot of warranty claims from frames. So your mileage may vary on that depending on your riding style and stuff, or maybe you just get a defective one, but I think your odds are pretty good you're going to have a frame that goes the distance. One thing that was kind of confusing or not super obvious, since I didn't read the manual, was the walk assist mode. And all you do is you push this little button in the middle of the up and down buttons, and you hold it for a second, and then you tap the forward button, and there it goes. It's not going to get away from you, but it definitely has come in handy, I don't know, at least twice. Usually I see a lot of deer out here, which reminds me, this thing does not scare animals at all, or at least not any more than on my regular bikes. In some ways, they seem to be fascinated by it. I don't know if there's like that little bit of noise or something that they can't figure out what it is and they stop and look, but they hardly ever go running off. And to be fair, the deer in most of these parks are super tame, and you could probably pet them if you really wanted to take a chance on getting kicked.
I hope you enjoyed this little ride with me and thoughts and perspective on e-mountain biking in general, and hope you get yourself one and see you out on the trail.